And so this is kind of what I think what happened with the hairdresser the other week. And so I text her and I said, sometimes when I'm working with my mom and I need her to do something, I say, hey, I understand this might not be something you want to do right now, but this is something we have to do right now. And then we can do the other thing later. But we have to do getting our hair cut right now. And after we're done with our haircut, you can go sit in your recliner, go do an activity, whatever it is, right? So it's a this, then that situation versus a yes or no situation.
Hi everyone, I'm Lexie Callies. Do you feel the squeeze of caring for an elderly loved one and school-aged children? Then welcome to the Sandwich Stories. Let's dig in.
Hiya. Hi, everybody. It's Lexie Callies with Sandwich Stories. I hope you're having a really great week. I'm in a new studio for the day because my other one, maintenance people, there's something wrong with the outside door and we're locked out. So I'm borrowing a studio. Yeah, super nice, very fancy, much fancier than my normal setup. So thank you to James for letting me borrow his studio. Anyway, so I don't know how many of y'all who are helping care for your loved ones have to deal with your loved one not wanting to do what you need them to do. For example, my mom, there's a lady who comes to my mom's facility every Monday and she's doing their hair. And uh, she did my mom's hair one time, everything was fine. She did my mom's hair the second time. Peggy said she didn't want to do it, said that she didn't feel well. And sometimes my mom, I found lately, will say she's not feeling well because she doesn't want to do it. And she's smart enough and with it enough to know that if she says that, they won't make her do things that she doesn't want to do. So I got a text message from the lady who does the hair, and she said, Peggy wasn't feeling well and I didn't do her hair today. I said, okay. I said, is there someone else that you could like do their hair and then come back and try Peggy's hair, try back, circle around and come back to Peggy? And she said, yeah, I already tried that. Didn't work. I said, okay. So it was too late for me to get up there. And so I just said, all right. Um, and I have found that just like children and our loved ones are not children, we shouldn't treat them like toddlers, but there are some ways of tricks that we do with younger children and thought processes that we have with younger children that help when we work with some of our elderly loved ones. And one of those is, don't ask a yes or no question if the answer in your mind is already no. So as an example, for my mom, if someone were to ask her, Peggy, would you like, so they're asking a question, would you like to take a shower right now? Her answer could be no. And if the answer is no, but you need it to be yes, don't ask a yes or no question, right? Because her answer is no. And and then if you just say, oh, well, tough, now you've negated her feeling as if she has a stake in what is going on. And so this is kind of what I think what happened with the hairdresser the other week. And so I text her and I said, sometimes when I'm working with my mom and I need her to do something, I say, hey, I understand this might not be something you want to do right now, but this is something we have to do right now. And then we can do the other thing later. But we have to do getting our hair cut right now. And after we're done with our haircut, you can sit in your recliner, go do an activity, whatever it is, right? So it's a this, then that situation versus a yes or no situation. And I understand this doesn't work for everybody because some people's loved ones are further along, and depending on the type of dementia they have, this might not work. So to Monday, so a couple days ago, I went up to go see mom around the time the girl was going to do her hair because it was Monday. So she was going to be there around 10 o'clock. So I stopped by to see how everything was going. And if Peggy was giving a little bit of pushback, I was going to make sure she got her hair cut, especially since I paid for the whole month. And maybe that's selfish of me to say, well, I've already paid for the month. We need to get this done. But it's the reality of the situation. And she could not come back later in the week because she works at other facilities throughout the week. I think she said she works at 4 other facilities. So she travels around and goes to facilities and cuts their hair. And so Monday morning is our facilities day and times. So I got there and Peggy was already in the chair. She had already had her hair washed and she's starting to get a really cute haircut. She cut off a lot of hair. It was really cute. So Peg had her hair probably to her shoulders. It was getting a little long and she cut it to a really cute bob. It looks adorable on my mom and it looks much more flattering. It doesn't drag her down. She doesn't look so, I hate to say it, witchy. Sometimes when I find that when your hair isn't done and you're an older lady with like silvery gray hair like my mom has, and it's thin, it can look a little witchy. So now it's lighter and brighter and it just looks really good on her. And so I had told the hairdresser in our text message back and forth, I said, sometimes you need to tell Peggy, we're going to do X, then you can do Y. And so when I got there, she said, yeah, that's exactly what I did. I told Peggy, I was like, hey, it's time to get your hair cut. We're going to go get your hair done. And then you can go do. And there was no questioning. And she said she just came right along and everything was great. And I think that's just what we need to do. Sometimes you need your loved ones to do something. Don't give them a choice. If the answer cannot be no, don't give them a yes or no question. If the answer is yes, then don't ask a question. Tell them that this is what we are doing right now. It is not a request. It is not a question. It is not, it's not a yes or no question. It's this is what we're doing. Then we can go. Sometimes you can say, if they're in the middle of something, let's finish this. Then we will go do what you need them to do. And like I said, I hate to say it, but I do the same thing when I worked with little kids. We will go do X, then we will go do Y. And there was never a yes or no question. Now, sometimes the question can be, they can have a choice of, do you want to put on your pajamas or brush your teeth? Which one do you want to do first? We're doing both, but which one would you like to do first? They still have, so then it kind of gives them a sense of that they have autonomy in the situation. So I do this with my mom too. So the other day, my mom, I needed her to do something, but she really wanted a snack and she wanted to sit in her recliner. I don't love her eating in her room, but she was like, I really want to sit in my recliner. I said, okay, fine. I need you to go do this thing with me at the front desk. I need you to sign something. And she's like, but I also want a snack. I said, okay, that's fine. But I need you to go sign this thing with me really fast at the front desk. And then you can have a snack in your recliner. So that was a twofer for her, right? So she got to sit in her recliner and have a snack. Like I said, I don't love her eating in her room. I don't eat in my room. My son doesn't eat in his room. Eating is for the kitchen, in my opinion. And so I don't love her doing that, but it really got her moving to go do what I needed her to do. And then she got to sit in her recliner and have a snack. Now, the snack ended up being an orange. And so it wasn't that messy, but I sat with her. I got her in her recliner, and I was able to peel the orange and hand her sections of the orange, and she was happy with that. But it got her to do what I needed her to do and not focus. The focus of sitting in her recliner and having a snack is what got her to do what I needed her to do. So yeah, those are just kind of little things. One little thing that maybe if you're having problems with your loved one not doing what you need them to do is maybe because you're asking them questions. The caretakers at my mom's facility do the same thing. Their training is different than mine, obviously, and I'm allowed to say and or do things with my mom that they're not allowed to do. And a lot of the times they ask questions, right? So they ask, "Hey, Miss Peggy, would you like to take your meds?" Well, she doesn't get a choice of yes or no to the meds. She needs to take her meds. That should not be presented as a question. It should be, "Hey, Miss Peggy, it's time to take meds." And here they are. And she will take them. So I've had to tell them, it's like, don't always ask her questions. Don't always give her a choice if the answer cannot be no, right? And they've figured that out. I think they've started to learn that they just need to say, "Miss Peggy, we're taking meds now," or "Miss Peggy, we're taking a shower now," whatever it is. And they're not asking as many questions, yes or no questions, that they were before. And I think me saying that they had the permission to do that was part of the change. I think they are lovely and wonderful, and they're trying to respect the people who live there as much as possible. And because they're not invalids, they are not infants. They should have some say in what goes on with their daily life and daily care. But we are also there to care for them and to help them. And sometimes what needs to happen is not everything that they want to do. And maybe they don't always realize that the meds is what keeps them going. And because I showed up one day and they said, "Peggy didn't want to take her meds. She cheeked it. She spit them out. We've talked about this before." And I said, "Well, don't give her the option of saying no to her meds. Just saying, it's time to take medication. Here you go, Miss Peggy." And there they go. So maybe that helps you. Maybe telling other people in your loved one's life that they're allowed to give a direction and not ask. Maybe that will make life a little easier. Maybe giving caregivers their permission to give a direction versus asking will make their life a little easier and not give as much pushback from your loved one. So I hope that helps some of you. And maybe it's just something you think about a little bit more when you need your loved one to do something. Okay. Song of the week, right? So song of the week is going to be, so I love Dionne Warwick. She has announced that this is, she's not touring anymore. She is 86 now. I mean, she's going, but she's still trucking. She looks great. She is doing a duet album, and she just released a new single from her duet album. And it's D, capital D, capital W, so Dionne Warwick, duet, which I thought was very cute. And so her newest single that she has released is with Cynthia Erivo. So if you haven't lived under a rock in the last couple of years, she plays the Wicked Witch. She plays Alphabet in Wicked. And but she is an amazing singer, and she was a proven amazing singer before Wicked. But she and Dionne Warwick have put a song together called Ocean in the Desert. And it is a wonderful song. I love it so much. And like I said, it just came out a couple days ago. So maybe it's a song that you haven't heard yet. So check it out. It's Dionne Warwick, Cynthia Erivo, and Desert in the Ocean. No, oh my gosh, Ocean in the Desert. Desert in the Ocean. That would be ridiculous. Ocean in the Desert. And so I hope you all check out that new song and you have a really great week. And I hope getting your loved ones to do something this week will be easier. So I hope you have a really great week. I'll see you next time. Love you guys. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to Sandwich Stories. I really hope you learned some new things and enjoyed it. If you did, tell a friend, tell your mom, tell your sister, tell your dad, tell everybody you know to also listen. Maybe they'll learn some new things, how to help each other out, and find us at Sandwich Stories Podcast. Thanks so much.